For CBS Sacramento, I'm Ashley Sharp. It's an incredible thing, really, what hope can do. For Calistoga's Nick Hope, his chosen name after World War II, it means new life and forgiveness, surviving the Holocaust. Before the story starts, we just want to give our viewers a warning. There are images in this story that are graphic.
Yeah, so Choprenko, Nikolai.
I have in my mind it's like I'm gonna die here or something, absolutely.
Glimpses of the past.
So these are just all, just official documents of him being in Dachau.
Pictures and pages that read like chapters of a history book. Preserved by father and son, George and Nick Hope of Calistoga, California.
February 26, 1943 to the day of deliverance by United States Army, 29th April 1945. It was registered in the camp records under the number 44249.
I was born in a little town, Petrovka.
That was 1924 in Ukraine, where Nick Hope was first Nikolai Hoprenko. And before he faced the worst of humanity in the Holocaust, he was a child under the rule of Joseph Stalin, communist dictator of the Soviet Union.
We was rich, but it's not long.
Hope's family was well off, successful, but under Stalin, everything was stolen.
A revolution like by the force. Everything was by force, He cut all food, clothes, work, houses, cut off completely. It was 1932, 1933. I was about 9 years old.
Stalin forced famine on the Ukrainian people. The period of suffering and starvation is called the Holodomor, claiming millions of Ukrainian lives.
This was a terrible, but we got through.
Before the start of World War II, Hope and his family struggled to survive for a near decade. So when Hitler invaded Ukraine in 1941, the people celebrated. They thought Germany was freeing them of Stalin and famine.
I said, oh, this is good. The Germans come and they help us to create it new, everything new, but they make a mistake.
Hope, just 17, now under Nazi rule. Things didn't get better, and the soldiers sought out young men to go work in Germany. In a food line, Nick and his friends were stopped one day by Nazis without their identification papers.
They put us in the jail, What you can do now? Next morning, he said, oh, well, maybe you go to Germany, work, or you'll be good life and buy lots of money and places. So lying, I would say no.
Imprisoned, Nick says guards spun a story that he tried to escape. And before he knew it, he was forced on a train with 50 other Ukrainians to go work at a German factory. None went willingly.
Uh-oh. He said, he's in Germany now.
He never got to say goodbye.
This was in Ukraine, and these are three of his friends. That's my dad right there.
To his friends or his family.
Oh, we see the new life, new start, new future.
In 1942, he found himself a slave in Munich.
What kind of factory, Papa, was this?
Just a military factory where they press this dynamite. That's very dangerous.
They slept in barracks and were treated as prisoners. Nick says with just one set of clothing and no underwear given to them, he hatched up a plan.
This material, what they don't use it, they don't go to the trash, in the trash all the time. What they said, listen, we don't have underwear. I can make it out of this thing, because in the trash there. I pick him out of the trash.
But he was sent to the Gestapo when it was found under his bed in a raid. for something so simple as taking trash to make underwear. His punishment was Dachau.
Stepped over the threshold, this Arbeitsmacht frei, and somebody says, okay, that's it. You never get out alive. Well, you go through the chimney, you smoke come out, that only. Oh boy.
Death was everywhere, unavoidable and imminent.
I remember the smell that's like barbecue from bodies, dead bodies, terrible.
Witnessing the unimaginable happening to prisoners daily, recalling one lost soul on the bottom of a cart of bodies.
Oh, friend, please help me, help me. I could do nothing. And life, go direction to the crematory. Terrible. Oh, no. Oh, brother, this is everything upside down in my mind. But thanks to my grandfather, they teach me a lot of things. He said, give me patience, any condition, patient.
From the gas chamber to evil experiments on prisoners and true starvation.
Always look at it, in my mind was a bread.
Yes. And then, so this is where my dad's barracks was in number 2. These two are still in existence to this day.
After 3 months at the main camp, Hope was moved to a Dachau substation called a lock for forced labor.
They put me first on a conveyor.
It was a BMW motor factory.
My dad's station was right here on the edge here. And then now this, believe it or not, is his bag with his key to his tool box at the BMW factory. That's his key.
No way.
Still has his key.
At the time of the war, BMW admits about 50% of the German company's workforce was concentration camp prisoners. Nick's 2 years at Dachau Alak weren't any less cruel.
I hate this place. Suffer so much, you know.
Simple mistakes at the factory warranted brutal beatings, lashes to the back.
Number 44249, step out. No, that's my number. Oh, sure. That is, that's it, finished.
That's Karl Wagner?
Yes.
The SS ordered fellow Soviet prisoner, a man named Karl Wagner, to give Nick his lashings. He refused.
I can beat him. This is order. I can beat him. He suffered for this, for me. Big sacrifice.
This is Karl Wagner in his book. When he's Karl Wagner, and he said, I won't strike. This is his whole story that he wrote. And there's a signature and all.
And then when I finish it, I feel it like somebody put a boiling water on my back. Lost my mind, you know. And until the next day, I have to go to work.
But soon, the end was near. It was 1945, and American forces were closing in on Dachau.
Right there. And a bomb about 20 feet away from me, you know, exploded. Oh, I says, okay, we're finished. I says, like, no, I'm still alive.
On the other side of the war,
That's Paris, summer of '45.
Dan Dougherty was 18 and a United States Army soldier.
April, about 2 weeks before Dachau.
When his rifle company approached Dachau on foot, they had no idea what they were walking into. They didn't even know what a concentration camp was, or the horrors of what the Nazis had been up to.
We had come upon this long train of boxcars, and we get up to it and make the horrifying discovery that the cars contain just totally emaciated human corpses. And it turns out there were 39 boxcars with 2,310 bodies. Later that morning, we came to a tall picket fence about 7 feet high. This turned out to be the perimeter of the camp at Dachau Alak. And all of a sudden, the prisoners realized that we were the U.S. Army, and the celebration began.
Oh.
And we gave them all of our K-rations, all our cigarettes, our candy.
It's freedom lost and found again. Raw emotion that for two men on two sides of the war never faded.
Hi there.
Hi.
Calistoga.
It's why this moment
Hey, Nick, good to see you.
Nice to see you.
We're hanging in there.
stops time.
Oh, pretty good. I'll be 99 in May, and you'll be 100 when? August.
Face to face, Nick and Dan, nearly 8 decades after Dachau.
Well, I came to Northern California in 1953, and Nick came in 1961, I think.
Right.
So we've lived within an hour of each other, but it wasn't until 2020 that we ever knew each other existed.
Dan from Fairfield and Nick of Calistoga. They reunited for the first time a few years ago. Both the liberator and the liberated.
My number 44 to 49, and I just become zero man, prisoner of war, because you nothing there, you zero. Brave American soldier, when they come,
We were at the satellite camp where he had been for 2 years, and we're there for maybe 3 hours, and then we leave. But during that time, during that window, he's gone.
That's because Nick was forced on a death march out of the camp alongside thousands of prisoners.
together 10,000 people do the Dead March. In the Dead March, there was 2 days we walk, in the rain, and it was dangerous whether you walk and it fell down, and that's it, you finished. They kill you right away in the way. You heard this, boom, 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 boom.
The Nazis, in a panic to keep as many prisoners as possible out of Allied hands. But it was over.
There come American tanks, one after another, 100 of them, and we hear, hooray! This is, I can't explain. Everybody dancing, somebody praying, somebody crying, somebody, we are free. We are free. Thank you. Thank you.
Hope ran as Nazis opened fire on lines of prisoners into the woods, soon to find refuge there. American soldiers ordered German farmers to take in the prisoners.
He said, hey, listen, here's about 100 prisoners. Give them food, sleep. We free. We free forever. We free for this terrible, terrible thing was behind us.
And after surviving all of this, Nick almost died simply from eating.
I go so far. Now this I should go. No, 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 no.
He was only 75 pounds. All the food sent him into a shock. He says his mother came to him then in a dream.
My mother said, son, if you have a problem with your stomach, eat the dry pears. Oh, brother, when I heard that thing, it disappeared. I got a farmer and bring me a whole sack full of dry pears. He said, here, eat it dry, don't die, You have to,
How would you find them?
yeah.
Hope would survive, but after the war's end, would spend 4 years at a hospital in Munich recovering. It's where he would meet his wife of 68 years, Nadia, a fellow concentration camp survivor.
I tell her, this is be my wife.
So when he first saw her in the hospital, that's what he said?
Don't talk to the other guys, don't touch her. This is me, my wife, you sit.
This is still Germany, yeah. This is after the war. My mother is here. That's my father.
Finding in each other a place to start over. They moved to Calistoga in the 1960s and had 3 children.
My dad, this is after, of course. This is when he was working and full health here.
But before that, Nick struggled for years with anger, overeating, and overdrinking. He says it was only when he found faith, he found hope. Nick Hope, what and who he'd lost.
I started a new life, knew everything. I go to the church, was baptized.
His faith in a defining moment was put to the test when he ran into an old Nazi SS commander in public, a man who beat him constantly.
And I heard a voice, Eisenbart. Oh, Eisenbart. Oh, almost, my heart almost stopped beating. Yeah. But the Spirit of God says, take it easy, as everything is past.
He followed the now former Nazi to his home and told him this.
I come here to forgive you. Give me hands, I said, give me the right hand. I forgive you. I forgive you everything what you've done for me.
Finding forgiveness.
That's God's will. He wants that we love each other, not hate each other.
And healing with hope, both in his chosen name and in life after the Holocaust.
This whole terrible, terrible tragedy in the world never, never, never happen again.
Nick Hope would go on to become a renowned builder in Calistoga, and he's turning 100 years old this year. We bring you this story because right now, Nick and his son George are back at Dachau. They're taking part in an annual remembrance ceremony there, honoring both Dachau survivors and heroes.